अरे कट. Myself, Assistant Professor Dr. D.S. Musky. I am going to teach you Environmental Studies subject for FY BCom. Our today's topic is Solid Waste Management for Sustainable Society. In this topic, we cover solid waste meaning, classification of waste, sources of solid waste, and solid waste management method. Let us understand meaning of solid waste. What is solid waste? We all know that the waste is generated by a number of activities. Any substance, solid, liquid or gases for which no use can be found by the organism or system that produces it and for which a method of disposal must be devised is called waste. I think you all well understood the meaning of solid waste. Now let us move toward the next point, that is classification of waste. We can classify the waste on the basis of its nature. So here the waste is divided into three types, and these three types are solid waste, liquid waste and gaseous waste. So first understand the solid waste. Solid waste can easily be seen. It is generated from different types of activities like construction, industries, mining, commerce, offices, factories and domestic use. Similarly, all these sources generate liquid and gaseous waste in varying quantities. In our homes, we find all the three types, that is solid, liquid and gaseous type of waste material. Solid waste consists of ash from the burning fuel, garbage, etc. Now understand the liquid waste. Liquid waste consists of sewage water from domestic and industrial activities. Okay. Now understand the gaseous waste. Includes poisonous gases from industries. Okay. Now we are moving to the next point, that is sources of solid waste. Here are the different sources of solid waste, like that domestic and industrial and commercial, clinical and biomedical, agricultural, animal, nuclear, minerals. So these are all the sources of solid waste. Now let us see the domestic source. Household garbage includes waste like the spoiled food, old newspapers, waste papers, plastic bag, cardboard wrapping, tins, broken glass, bulbs and tubes, cloth pieces, kitchen smoke, etc. Okay. Now the next source is industrial and commercial. Industrial waste include variety of waste produced from the different industries, depending on the process carried out by them. Residual metals or solid waste from the industries include ash, packaging containers, etc. Liquid residues include oil, paints, wastewater and chemical, etc. Gaseous waste are generated from the burning of coal and fuels. Okay. Now the next source is clinical or biomedical. Include the waste from the hospitals, nursing homes, pathological laboratories, medical clinic, blood banks, etc. Biomedical waste include the metals, glass, rubber and equipments, needles, bottles, syringe, tubes, gloves, cotton, blood, medicines, phenol, anatomical waste like body parts, etc. Okay. Now agricultural residues include the variety of plants, products, dried grass, leaves, husks, etc. as well as chemical fertilizers, urea, thiamate and dosulfan are the present in the soil, which is usually not visible but they form the most harmful agricultural waste. Okay. Next source is animal. Animal waste products associated with the agriculture mostly include animal dung, excreta of the other animals, and the bodies of the dead animals. The farmers don't consider this as a waste, as the farmers reuse these materials in making the manure and compost. Okay. Now the next source is nuclear. The waste products of the nuclear power plant include radioactive minerals and the metals. Some countries have been dumping large quantities of the radioactive waste generated while testing nuclear weapons in the Pacific Ocean. This has caused irreparable damage to the ocean life. Okay. Now, last source of waste is mineral. Heavy metals residues found around minerals and quarries contain toxic metals like lead, arsenic, cadmium, also fine particles of carbon generated from coal mines, etc. Okay. Now we are moving toward the next new point, that is solid waste management method. There are two types of solid waste management methods. First one is disposal method and second one is recycling method. Now let us see the disposal method. Now let us see disposal method. There are two methods of disposal: landfill and incineration. Now let us see landfill method. Disposing of waste in landfill involves burying waste to dispose of it, and this remains a common practice in most countries historically. Landfills were often established in disused quarries, mining boroughs pit. A property designated and well managed landfill can be a hygienic and relatively inexpensive method of disposing of waste materials. Okay. Now next method is incineration. Disposal method that involves combustion of waste material. Incineration and other high temperature waste treatment system are sometimes described as a thermal treatment. Simple, in this method waste is burned. Okay. Now moving toward the next recycling method. There are three methods of recycling methods, that is physical reprocessing, biological reprocessing and avoidance and reduction on method. Now let us see physical reprocessing. In this method we can reuse the aluminum, can, steels, bottles and plastic. Okay. Now biological reprocessing. In this method, plants, material, food, scrap and paper products can be recycled. Now we are taking the last point of this method, avoidance and reduction method. In this method, waste management is the prevention of waste material being created. Methods of avoidance include reuse of second-hand products, repairing broken items instead of buying new products. I think solid waste management method you well understood. Thank you so much.